My beloved child, what lies ahead will not be gentle. A great upheaval is coming that will overturn the life you've always known. There is no more time to hesitate or dwell in uncertainty, for tonight everything begins. And this may be the turning point of your destiny, a new chapter, a judgment, or a redemption. I have seen you exhausted trying to cling to what has already collapsed, entangled in things you do not yet understand. You are building your life upon sinking sand, on emotions and weary reasoning, while the ground beneath you is cracking little by little, and when all of it shatters, only faith will remain or collapse. You will see an old chapter of your life end in chaos, not because I have abandoned you, but because I need you to awaken. What you're holding onto, your ambitions, your plans, your relationships, even what seems good, will begin to tremble. But it is right there in the place where darkness swallows and all control is stripped away that you will see who truly is your foundation. I will not hold back the storm, but I will be in it with you. You thought you were strong when you did not cry, when you pushed forward with clenched fists. But I tell you this, only when you fall to your knees in weakness will you learn how to stand firm. Faith is not the wisdom of reason. It is the whispered yes in the midst of confusion. And in the moment when you have nothing left to grasp, that is when faith is born. I do not need your perfection. I need your trust. The storm does not come to destroy you. It comes to purify you. It will strip away falsehoods, illusions, and spiritual pride. You may weep, you may feel lost, but I count every tear. I will not let you be forsaken. Yet you must keep walking step by step, even if the destination is not yet clear. Because if your hand remains in mine, then even if the sky falls, you will not be moved. My beloved child, I know your heart is panicking. When the things you once trusted begin to collapse, when your dreams are swept away like dust in the wind, you may think it's over. But no, dear one, this is not the end. This is the beginning page of a new chapter, one where I, your Lord, am writing something deeper than anything you've ever imagined. The old must fall away for the new to rise. And sometimes a new chapter does not begin with gentle music, but with thunder, tears, and brokenness. I do not allow trials to break you, but to teach you how to stand on the only true foundation, me. What you once leaned on, your job, your relationships, your stability, even your understanding, they are not enough to anchor you in the storm. You need something stronger, a shelter that cannot be shaken, and I am that shelter. I allow the storm not to punish, but so you might learn to release control and trust in the one who never changes. You may not understand why things happen the way they do. You may feel as though I am silent, as though I've turned away. But in that silence I am at work. I am clearing the old ground to plant something newer, truer, eternal. You do not need to see the whole picture, just hold my hand and keep walking. Every step you take through sorrow, I will turn into a step of faith. I am teaching you to fly even while you're still learning to walk. So when everything seems to be falling apart, do not assume you are failing. Do not see the trial as a sentence, see it as a classroom of grace. This is where you are being shaped, refined into the person I designed you to be from the very beginning. This is how I draw you out of comfort and into the center of my purpose, where you don't just survive but live with meaning. And remember, I never write a new chapter in your life without a sacred purpose behind it. My beloved, lift your head when everything around you begins to crumble. When people turn away, when what you thought would remain is suddenly gone, when your heart is shattered and finds no whole place left to lean, turn toward me. I am not a fleeting breeze or an uncertain promise. I am the rock, the unshakable foundation. Though the earth trembles and the sky darkens, though the world rises against you, I do not change. I am there as a wall that blocks the wind of your storm, as arms open wide to catch you when you fall. Lean on me even when there is no other place left to rest. You often search for stability in changeable things, people, circumstances, plans, feelings, but these are dust, and you cannot build your life on what is so fragile. You need a foundation not from this world, but from me. It is when everything around you is overturned that you will see what cannot be shaken. Remember, when you have nothing left to hold, I remain the place where you can stand firm. I know you want to understand, to see the ending, to be certain of what tomorrow brings. But child, that is not how faith is born. Faith does not spring from knowledge, but from surrender. You do not need to see the map of your whole life, just take one step, then another with me. Each small step you take placed in my hand becomes the path that leads to miracles greater than you can imagine. Do not wait until all is clear to begin trusting. Faith does not wait for the storm to pass. It is the light you carry within it. I am holding your hand, and you are not alone no matter how thick the darkness. Keep walking even if your steps are trembling. Every step you take in trust will open what I've prepared for you little by little, gently and surely. There will be times you do not feel me, and you'll wonder if I am silent. But child, my silence is not absence. I am there beside you in every breath, in every trembling step, in every sigh you dare not speak aloud. My promises are not written in fading ink, but in blood, the blood of redemption, the blood of unchanging love. I promised never to leave you, and I do not break my word. In hardship you may forget this, but in your weakest moments I am closest. I do not abandon you in the night. I enter it with you, sit beside you, lift you up each time you fall. When you cry, I do not turn away, I listen. When you are afraid, I do not remain still, I walk with you. That is what carries you through, not your strength, but my faithful presence. My beloved, I know there are times you feel small and lost in this vast world. You think your choices go unnoticed, that your presence makes no difference. But child, that is a lie. Darkness whispers to make you forget your worth. The truth is, no one was made to live disconnected, and no act is without echo. You are not an island adrift. You are a thread in a sacred tapestry I have woven with love. When you speak a word of kindness, when you forgive, when you give up something small for the sake of another, even if no one sees, I see. And your action does not end there. It spreads. One decision of yours can spark hope in another like a single flicker, igniting a fading heart. On the other hand, if you choose selfishness or bitter words or apathy, that wound too will echo quiet but deep. That is why I call you to live with awareness, because every choice touches the world around you. You may not see the whole picture, but every soul on earth is linked by an invisible thread I have woven between them. It is no coincidence. It is designed delicate, wise, and full of love. I created community not to dissolve you, but that you may shine light into each other. Every encounter, every relationship, every time you walk into someone's life, it's part of a greater design only I can fully see. When you love, you reflect my light to others. When you forgive, you open a door for healing to enter broken hearts. And when you endure for the sake of righteousness, you bring joy to all of heaven. You are not alone, dear one. You are a vital link, and if you were missing, the picture would be incomplete. I see you growing weary, thinking you've done nothing great. But child, a cup of water given with a sincere heart in my eyes may be more precious than the treasures of the world. A kind word spoken today could change the path of a soul in despair, and a silent, loving act could echo into eternity, for whatever is done in my name is never in vain. Never underestimate your impact just because it isn't loud. A single drop can create ripples that reach far, and you, with your trust in me, may be the beginning of a new life in someone else. I have planted within you the power to bring change, not by force but by love. Live with that awareness, with that humility, and let your every act become part of the sacred symphony I am composing across all creation. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you pray and nothing seems to happen, and you wonder if your words have simply vanished into the void. But I want you to know, not a single prayer of yours is ever meaningless. Every word, whether whispered in silence or poured out through tears, is heard clearly and remembered by me. Sincere prayers can move what you believe to be immovable, because I am the one who can soften hearts of stone, redirect the course of nations, and even reshape the very trajectory of human history. You don't need to pray with eloquence, with length, or with flawless form. You only need to pray with a genuine heart. That is what I listen to. When you intercede for others, when you lift up a quiet plea for someone in pain, when you ask for light in the midst of darkness, you are opening a door for me to act. I have transformed nations, awakened generations, and saved lives through a single humble prayer. Never underestimate the power of what may seem weak in the eyes of the world. Prayer is not merely words spoken toward the heavens, but a way of life that touches the earth. When you pray and then act in love, that is when healing begins. A timely embrace, a listening gaze, a forgiveness you thought you couldn't offer, these are prayers walking on your feet. They are not just acts of kindness, they are miracles. I have woven a gentle law into this world that true love can dissolve hatred, forgiveness can mend what is broken, and kindness can lift someone from the depths. You don't need to be famous or powerful to impact the world. You only need to love genuinely right where you are. And when you do that, you are in communion with me, allowing heaven's will to be made manifest on earth. My child, I never see you, only as you are in this moment. I see the radiant future I am weaving from what looks shattered. I can take the broken pieces of your heart, the things others have discarded, and make them into something precious. Your scars need not be hidden, for in my hands they become testimony to a love that never abandons. Ashes are not the end, they are the material from which I craft new beauty. I can bring life from the very place where you feel the deepest pain, both for you and for others. Despair is not a dead end if you invite me in. When you see no way forward, I will make a path through the wilderness. When every door appears closed, I will carve out a way through the walls. This is what I have done, what I am doing, and what I will continue to do, if you believe, if you pray, and if you keep your heart open to hope. My beloved child, your life is not simply a string of random days, nor is it a scripted play where you are but a passive character, number. Every breath you take, every decision you make, every moment you live, each carries meaning, and each is held in the sacred interplay between my will and the free will I have given you. You are not coerced into obedience, but I long for you to choose me among the countless things you could turn toward. And in that voluntary choosing, the sacred takes form, true life begins to unfold, and a future flavored with eternity is born. You may think you're walking alone in this world, but in truth, you're walking a path I've laid with promise and mercy. I do not control your every step like a puppet master, but I am ever near to shape, to correct, to guide, and to use even your missteps to create something beautiful. When you fall, I do not turn away. When you lose your way, I do not abandon you. And even when you doubt my love, I remain patient, waiting with arms open that have never closed. Perhaps in the midst of a world ever shifting, you've felt invisible, that you're not big enough to make a difference, not influential enough to impact lives, not loud enough to spark change. But child, know this, in my kingdom nothing is small. A loving word, a decision to forgive, a single kind act, these create ripples unseen by the eye, yet echo into realms measured only by eternity. What you sow today in faith will bloom where time cannot bury it. Yet do not let your heart be burdened with the thought that you must carry everything. No, you were never made to shoulder the weight of the world. Your shoulders are not wide enough for all the pain of humankind, but mine are. You need only do your part, a small but vital part, and trust that I will fulfill the rest. Do not trade your inner peace for the weariness of trying to control what was never yours to hold. When you learn to let go, you'll realize I've been holding everything long before you even began to worry. Still, you do not live in a vacuum. The choices others make, their actions or neglect, can affect you like ripples from a stone cast into water. You may not have chosen the wounds they inflicted, but you still carry the effects. This is not injustice. It is the nature of the living web I have created. It is not a flaw in the design. It is a reminder that you are not alone, that you need others, and that they need you. It is within these connections that I weave lessons, maturity, and sometimes miracles. Do not shy away from relationship for fear of pain, child. True love cannot live in isolation, and neither can you. You were made to belong, to dwell among community, to be a light in someone else's darkness, just as you were once lit by the light of another. Sometimes you don't realize that a gentle glance, an open embrace, or even a silent, compassionate presence are all heavenly gifts. You may never know which action of yours will change a life, but I know. And I use them, those seemingly insignificant acts, to write the next chapter in someone's story. There will be times when you are wounded by another's poor choice. You will feel as though you've been thrown into a battle you never chose, But remember this, when you cannot control the circumstance, you can still choose your response. And that is where I am closest to you, the place where faith is tested, where your heart can soften rather than harden, where love can sprout from the soil of mercy. I do not require you to win every battle, but I long for you not to lose the tenderness, kindness, and truthfulness I have placed within you. You will never fully understand all my ways. Some puzzle pieces will remain missing while you walk this earth. But I promise that every pain you endure, every loss you overcome, every moment you choose to keep your heart soft amid hardship, I will use it all. I do not waste a single tear. No sacrifice is meaningless. And no act of love from you will ever be forgotten. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you because you are mine. And when you place your trust in me, you become part of something far beyond yourself, something vast, beautiful, and eternal. I do not need you to do the extraordinary. I need you to walk faithfully each day in the ordinary. As long as you keep loving, keep forgiving, and keep standing firm in truth, I will do the extraordinary through you. And child, when you feel you're not enough, let me be the rest. When you are exhausted, let me be your rest. When you are lost, let me lead you. You don't need to hold everything in your hands to feel secure, because it is my hand that holds you firmly, unfailingly. You are a part of a wondrous story still being written. And every action, every choice, every prayer you offer has its place in that sacred symphony. Don't let fear silence you. Don't let disappointment cause you to give up. Don't let your invisibility in the eyes of others make you forget that you are always seen by me, the one who knew your name before the world was formed. Keep living, not just to survive, but to reflect me in the world. Keep loving, not because others are always deserving, but because you carry the love I've given. And always remember, you never walk alone. In every smallest thing I am with you, guiding each step toward the place I have prepared, a place with no more tears, no more night, where all things will be made clear, and you will know everything I have done was out of love. My child, if you are reading these words in a night of the soul, when all around you seems to have turned away, when your faith feels like the most fragile thing within you, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and let your heart be still before me. For I have not come to frighten you, but to remind you that I am still here. I have never left. I have never turned my face. Every beat of your heart, every time you felt too weak to go on, I was there beside you, holding you up even when you did not know. My beloved child, I know every wound in your soul, the ones you dare not share with anyone, the nightmares that jolt you awake in the night, and the nameless sorrow hidden behind your strained smile. I hear the words you do not speak, and I understand even the tears that have not yet fallen. Never believe that you must be strong all on your own. My arms are always ready to catch you when you are weary, and my heart remains open, waiting for your return and refuge. Life does not move in predictable patterns, and I know how many times you've asked, why did that happen to me? Why would you, my Father, allow such pain into my life? My dear one, it is not because I turned away, nor is it because I am indifferent. But there are lessons that can only be understood in darkness. There are depths of growth that come only through storms. And there are blessings I've prepared for you that require a soul deep enough, soft enough, and strong enough to receive them, qualities that only trials can shape within you. At times, to bring you to where I have destined, I must dismantle the temporary shelters you've grown used to relying on. I must allow the winds to rise so you learn to walk by faith and not by sight. I must let those you trust walk away so you discover that true hope is not found in people but in me. I must permit the doors you once leaned on to close so that you may learn to walk through the ones I open, leading to a new, brighter, deeper, and truer life. You are not a random product in this vast universe. You are a part of a magnificent design where every detail, every piece, and every moment of your life holds a purpose far beyond your present understanding. What you are going through is not meaningless. The pain, the stumbles even, my silence, all are threads I am weaving into a story profound, radiant, and eternal, a story of love, redemption, and hope. You do not need to understand everything in order to trust me. Faith does not demand answers, it asks for surrender. When you cannot see the path ahead, I want you to keep walking in trust. Every step you take in faith, no matter how small, declares to the darkness that you believe in the light that you choose, me, the one who never changes. And my dear child, I want you to remember, you are not living in this world alone, not like a lone blade of grass in the desert. You are an inseparable part of the human tapestry I have woven with my own hands. Every word you speak, every act you do, no matter how small, can create ripples far beyond what you can imagine. When you forgive, even when it is undeserved, you are helping heal a corner of the world. When you choose love over condemnation, you push back the darkness without needing to make a sound. Your quiet decisions can still touch the lives of others. A compassionate glance, a whispered prayer for the hurting, a small act of kindness toward the forgotten, all of it is remembered, not just in this life, but in eternity. You may never see the full outcome of those choices here on earth, but trust that I, who see all, will use them for good at just the right time. I know you often feel small and sometimes invisible in the rush of life, but to me you are never blurred. You are not forgotten. You are not extra. I thought of you before the world began. I called your name before anyone else knew you. I designed your life full of meaning, and I am walking with you through every step of it. You may feel discouraged when your prayers are not answered in the way you had hoped. But my child, I am not ignoring you. Some delays are because I am preparing something better. Some rejections are to protect you from what would lead you away from true good. And some answers are slow not because I am silent, but because I am teaching you perseverance, growth, and to trust more in me than in the outcome. I am the one who can turn desolate fields into blooming gardens. I can take ashes and create beauty. I can gather your tears and turn them into healing streams. Every pain you endure today is being transformed quietly, but certainly into a blessing for tomorrow. Nothing is wasted in my hands. No suffering is ever in vain when placed into my divine plan. So, my beloved, keep walking. Be faithful even when clarity escapes you. Keep praying even if your prayer becomes nothing more than a sigh. Keep loving even if it risks breaking your heart. Keep hoping even when everything inside you wants to give up, because I, your God, your Father, am holding everything in my hands, and I never break a promise. A new chapter is unfolding. Do not face it with fear, but embrace it with faith. Not because you know what's coming, but because you know who walks with you. I, the one who never changes, am walking with you until the very end of this journey where true life awaits. My dear one, when it feels like everything is falling apart in your hands, remember that not every collapse is the end. Often it is the beginning of a rebirth you never dared to imagine. I do not allow such moments to shatter you, but to awaken you, to bring you back to the core of who I created you to be from the very beginning. What you perceive as loss may in fact be my gentle invitation to leave the old land where you were slowly losing yourself. And so every crack, every fracture, every midnight sob will be gathered by me to create a miracle no human hand could ever craft. You may think you've lost your way, but with me you are never lost. You are not a drifting boat in the storm. You are a part of the sacred blueprint I envisioned before the foundations of the world. I am shaping you not hastily or carelessly, but slowly, carefully, like a potter tenderly forming every curve of a cherished vessel. Along the way, there will be sudden turns, painful strikes, moments when all form seems lost. But my child, that is not chaos. It is my love molding you into something more beautiful than you imagined. I see the sighs you release in silence, the mornings you struggle to rise, the nights you lie awake with unanswered questions. I also see how you keep trying, keep loving, keep holding on, even when your heart is tangled in confusion, and in those moments I call that faith. Not the kind of faith that understands everything, but the kind that walks on even when it cannot see. And that is the faith I cherish, quiet but unshakable, humble but enduring. You do not need to be stronger to draw near to me. It is in your weakness that you are closest. Your tears never fall to the ground unnoticed. Every time you choke on words I do not watch from afar, I come close place. My hand on your shoulder and whisper, I am here. I am not a distant cold God enthroned in the clouds. I am your Father, the one who bows beside you in the night, the gentle voice in panic, the faint but unwavering light in your darkest valley. You may not see me, but you will recognize me in the unexplainable peace amid chaos, in the timely words of a stranger, in an old scripture that suddenly breathes in the moment your heart softens and you can't explain why. These are my signs for you to know not a moment have you been left alone. I never lead you to the middle of the sea, only to pull my hand away. If I began something in you, I will complete it perfectly in due time and with love. There will come times when you must face darkness. Bad news may strike like a sudden blade. Doors you thought were secure may slam shut. Things you once held as unshakable may vanish like smoke. And in those moments when nothing outside can steady what's inside, I want you to remember one thing I do not change. I am still the one you first believed in. Still the Father who embraced your fragile faith. Still the one holding your hand when the world turns its back. When the storm comes, do not seek safety in what easily shifts money, status, reputation, even the promises of people. These things may be good, but they are not foundations. Only I, untouched by time, unshaken by circumstance, unscarred by failure, am your anchor. Set your heart in me, and you will not be swept away. Cling to my word, and you will not collapse. And even if the ground splits beneath your feet, your faith, anchored in me, will stand firm. I know you crave certainty, but there are things in life you may never fully understand. And I do not ask you to understand, I simply invite you to trust. Trust that when nothing looks good, I am still working to bring good. Trust that when you cannot feel me, I am still holding you with my righteous right hand. Trust that when you have nothing left, that is when you have me more than ever. My love for you does not fluctuate with seasons, does not change with your behavior, and is not ruined by the cracks in your heart. That love is not based on what you do. It is rooted in who I am. And I am the faithful one, the one who never leaves a story unfinished, who turns ashes into beauty, despair into living hope. You are living proof of that. And you are still being shaped each day to reflect my light in this darkened world. So when you cannot see the way, keep walking. When you cannot hear me, keep praying. When your heart feels heavy, let the tears fall into my hands. And when you do not know what lies ahead, just remember I do. I have gone before you. I am beside you. And I am already waiting for you at the end of this road. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. Whether you believe it or not, this truth remains: I am with you. In every sigh, every stumble, every tear, every brave smile, I am there lifting you, holding you, and loving you more deeply than you ever imagined. My beloved child. All that is about to unfold, though it may seem beyond your expectations, beyond your comprehension, and even beyond your endurance, is never beyond my control. Amid the seemingly chaotic disorder of the world, I am still working quietly and wisely. Every detail, no matter how small, is under my careful watch. Nothing happens to you without my knowing, and there is no pain you bear that I do not feel with you. Every trial, every storm, every wounding word or silent tear, I am using them all to shape and mold you into what I envisioned before you even entered this world. You are not a scribbled note in the manuscript of life. You are not hastily written nor thrown into existence by chance. On the contrary, you are a wondrous masterpiece carefully etched by the creative hand of the Eternal One. Deep within your soul, I have placed a spark of myself, a capacity for love, for hope, for endurance, and for pursuing what is good. Nothing about you is excessive. Every weakness, every scar, every part of you that you struggle to accept, they all have purpose in the process I am using to bring you into maturity. Remember, I saw the full journey of your life before you ever took your first step. And I have loved you completely, not after you did the right thing, but even when you had not yet known right from wrong. My love is not limited by conditions or outcomes. It is a constant foundation, steady in the face of chaos, faithful through every change. When you feel lost, I remain at the crossroads, patiently waiting for your gaze to return to me. When you have no words left to speak, I hear the sobbing of your heart. Every pain you endure is not to show me how weak you are, but to reveal the strength I have long planted within you. No storm is allowed to rage beyond your capacity to withstand it, because I set boundaries on every crashing wave. When you feel pushed to your limits, pause and sense that I am holding your hand tightly. It is at the edge of yourself that you will find me, right there in the fractures of your heart. And from that place I will begin something new, something no one thought you could endure, but with me, all things are possible. You may hear troubling news, face upheavals that shake your soul. Loss, betrayal, or a chilling silence from those you once trusted may come. Yet in all of it, I invite you to return to me, the safest refuge, the place where the storm cannot reach your soul. Beneath my wings you will find rest. In my presence you will rediscover your deep breath and the peace in your gaze. When you feel weak, you often try to hide it. You think you must be strong so you don't disappoint me. But oh child, I do not need you to be strong in my presence. I need you to be honest. I am not ashamed of your tears nor discouraged by your trembling. I do not measure your love by how well you perform in trials, but by your trust when everything around you seems uncertain. I am there when you cannot stand. I carry you through the storm. I uphold you when you have no strength to continue on your own. I know you don't just want to survive, but to live a meaningful life. That is why I placed within you a deep longing for truth, for light, for something eternal that surpasses even life itself. You don't need to understand everything to move forward. But you must remember one thing: I have never taken my eyes off you. Every moment you feel forsaken, I am drawing nearer than ever before. The road you walk is not a smooth path, but you do not walk it alone. I am there in each misty morning, each lonely night, and each uneventful day. You will not have to cross this desert alone. Even when you do not realize it, I am refreshing your soul with drops of dew. It may be a stranger's kind word, a ray of sunshine on a gray day, or a quiet whisper within reminding you, I am still here. Do not abandon your calling just because the road feels too rough. What you are going through is not proof you've taken the wrong path. It may be the very evidence that you're on the right one, the road that leads to glory, not through fleeting success, but through steady endurance. Don't compare your journey with others, for I am doing something entirely unique in your life. I am writing a story that will never be repeated, and it will be beautiful if you let me write it to completion. Let my love be what holds you when you feel like letting go. Let my promises lift you when you have nothing left to cling to. And let my presence be where you run, not only when you need saving, but even when you don't know you need me. I am not merely your destination. I am your companion each step of the way, the shadow that never leaves your side. You are mine. Not only because I created you, but because I chose to love you, even knowing everything you would do. That love does not change no matter how many times you fall, how long you delay, or how deeply you doubt. You cannot make me love you more, and you cannot make me love you less. That love is eternal, and it is the very reason you will overcome. Because in the end, it is not your strength that holds you, but my faithfulness. It is not your knowledge that saves you, but my grace. It is not your efforts that carry you to your destiny, but my arms lifting you again and again until you complete your journey and finally see with clarity what you now hold only by faith. My child, I know that in the days ahead you will face things you never imagined you could endure. It may be sudden loss, crushing pressure, or unforeseen turns that make you feel your life is slipping out of control. I do not deny that you will grow weary. I do not pretend that everything will be easy. But I want you to engrave this truth in your heart. Within you flows a quiet strength, not from yourself, but from me, the one who formed you with breath and mercy. You may feel weak, but do not confuse weakness with failure. Weakness is an invitation to return to the safe haven, where my arms are wide open. When you cannot stand, I will uphold you with my mighty hand. When you have no words to cry out in pain, I will be the voice that lifts your soul with unspoken comfort. Lean on me, child, not to prove anything, not to strive, just come honestly and I will do the rest. No one was born to walk through storms alone, and I never created you to be abandoned in the chaos of life. Every time your heart breaks, every time your mind spins in fear, every night your tears fall silently on your pillow, I know. Nothing about you is too small for my eyes. No pain is forgotten in my heart. I do not promise you'll never hurt, but I promise you'll never hurt alone. I am there in the battle, in the storm, in your deepest sigh. I am the one who commands the seas to be still, who calms the wind. I am not far. I am the one sitting beside you in the dark room, holding your hand when all others have turned away. The same voice that spoke creation into being will speak healing into your soul. When the world crumbles around you, I remain unshaken. When everything changes, I remain the same. I am the steadfast, one you need amidst all that is fragile. I am the rock for those who have nothing left to cling to. I am the light for every soul swallowed by shadow. Do you know this? The storm never has the right to define you. Only I, the one who called you by name, have that right. I do not call you victim. I call you warrior. I do not see you as weak. I call you one made in my image, strong, courageous, full of sacred potential. And because you are mine, nothing can snatch you from my hand. No hardship, no fatigue, no failure is enough to make me abandon you. So, my child, take a deep breath in the midst of the storm. Don't worry about seeing too far ahead. Just take the next step. Just whisper a simple prayer. Just place your small trust. You don't need to understand everything or see the whole journey. You only need to know, I am here. And if you let me lead, even if the path winds through darkness, you are still walking toward the light. No matter how many times you fall, I will be there to lift you. No matter how much you doubt, struggle, or grow weary of yourself, my love does not waver. I do not love you because you get everything right. I love you because you are mine. And I will fight for you. I will surround you. I will protect you to the very end. Not because you are always good, but because I am the one who never changes in my love for you. In the midst of chaos, do not let your heart be drowned by noise. Return to the stillness within your soul where you can still hear my whisper, you are not alone. I am here. And in that presence you will find breath again, you will find new strength, and you will know no matter how fierce the storm, your heart can be at peace, because I am your peace. My beloved child, in the midst of the confusion, when you cannot yet see the way forward, I am still at work. Though your eyes have not seen and your ears have not heard, my hand is moving with intention in even the smallest of things. Nothing in your life happens by chance. Every moment, every event, every piece of news you receive, whether it lifts your heart or brings a heaviness to your spirit, is held within my loving and wise plan. I am the one who works without rest, unrestricted by time, and I never forget what I have promised. I am aligning every part of the grand picture like a master craftsman, fitting scattered fragments into place so the final image may be made whole. You may only see a gray patch, perhaps even a dark shade of today, but what you do not know is that a brighter color is waiting to be joined just beyond it. I do not see from your perspective alone. I see from eternity, where every outcome is already known. And my child, the ending of your story, I have written it in glory, in victory, in fullness of life. There will be moments when the news you hear leaves you breathless. There will be messages that cause your heart to tremble, making you feel as if everything is slipping away. But do not let your soul sink into anxiety. Bad news is not the end, it is merely a turning point that leads to the greater good I am preparing. I am the one who can water the seeds of hope with your tears, who can bring healing tomorrow from the pain of today. When you stand before your own cross, remember, it is there at what seems like the end that resurrection begins. I did this with my beloved Son, and I can do it with you. Do not fear when things fall apart, for I am gathering every broken piece to create something miraculous. I do not let anything precious slip from your life without the intention of giving you something greater in return. I never take away, unless I also plan to give. But sometimes you must let go before you can receive. And never forget this, I do not let you walk through the stormy seasons alone. You are not abandoned. I have placed a community around you, those who love my commands, the faithful hearts, the brothers and sisters in faith. They are not there by accident. They are, my hands extended to you, the comfort I long to give. When you no longer have the strength to pray, they will pray for you. When you cannot stand, they will lift you up. Do not hesitate to draw near to them. Do not let pride or shame isolate you in your suffering. I know your heart longs to be strong, but human strength has limits. That is why I did not create you as a lone warrior. I placed you within a body, a great fellowship of other sheep, who are also fighting, also weak, but who rise each day through my grace. Open your heart to love and be loved, to help and be helped, to intercede and be interceded for. In that unity you will find renewed strength, not from within yourself, but from my presence among you. My child, I am greater than the storm you are facing. I do not promise it will be easy, but I promise you will never be alone. Let me be your source of strength, and let my community be a hedge of protection around you. Trust that behind every door that closes, I have already prepared one to open, and behind every ending a glorious beginning awaits. You do not need to understand it all. You only need to hold my hand. Let each day be a step closer to the promise. Let each breath be a declaration, I trust you, even when I cannot see. And every time you grow weary, remember that I am still at work, silently, deeply, surely turning what seems meaningless into a glorious outcome. My precious one, when the coming days bring the roar of thunder, when the night falls heavy and the sky is burdened with things beyond your understanding, I want you more than ever to hold fast to hope. Not a vague wish or an empty comfort, but a living, steadfast hope. A hope that anchors your soul and keeps it from drifting away. Grasp that hope with all your faith, even when your hands tremble, even when your heart doubts. For it is in your weakest moments that I will make that hope rise within you stronger than ever before. Hope does not require you to understand everything. It simply asks you to believe that I understand, and that I am still at work in the shadows, still holding all things within the palm of my hand. It is the sacred assurance that even when you cannot see, cannot measure, cannot reason, I am still there. I am still faithful. I am still your Father. What I have promised, I will fulfill. What I have begun in you, I will complete. Not early, not late, but at my perfect time. Remember, my child, hope does not die in the dark. It endures most fiercely in moments that feel hopeless. It is the small flame that refuses to be snuffed out by raging winds. It is the quiet light at the end of the path when everything else has faded. When you hold on to hope, you stand in the midst of darkness and proclaim the light still exists. You anchor your soul in me, the unshakable one, the promise keeper, the eternal, who upholds your fragile heart. In the hours to come, hours that may fill your soul with dread, remember that I am your refuge. Not a temporary hiding place, but an eternal shelter. When the winds of life howl, when the outside noise drowns out, clarity, run to me. Let me be your sturdy roof, your peaceful room in the midst of the storm. You do not need to bear the weight alone. Let me be your confidant, your resting shoulder, your gentle whisper in the tempest. When you open your heart to me, even with only a whisper, a sigh, or tears too deep for words, I hear you. You don't need to say it all or explain it perfectly, for I understand even what you haven't yet named. Call out to me even with the faintest cry, and I will answer. Not because you deserve it, but because I love. Not because you are strong, but because I am unchanging. Not because you know the way, but because I am the way, the truth, and the life. I am never too busy to hear you, never too distant to draw near, never too holy to touch the wounds of your sin. I am here right now in this moment, waiting for you to return, not with condemnation in my eyes, but with arms wide open. Come to me, and you will find the rest no world can give. A rest not found in escaping reality, but in knowing you are held in the hands of the one who never loses his way. Beloved child, I want you to truly see this profound truth. You are not alone in the cold void. You are not a solitary star drifting through the cosmos. Your life is not separate from the rest of this world. Every choice you make, every action you take, every thought you carry, all are threads woven into a vast and sacred tapestry I am crafting day by day. You are a vital thread in the living portrait of humanity, irreplaceable, indispensable. You may think your life bears little consequence, that what you do or fail to do does not matter, but child, that is not true. Every step you take, every decision you make, every word you speak, they send ripples through creation. Ripples that reach souls you've never met, that touch hearts you may never know. And when you walk in my ways, even quietly, even unnoticed, you are bringing forth change in ways only I can fully measure. The tapestry I am weaving is not only the bond between people, but a bridge between heaven and earth. When you forgive, you do not merely mend your own heart, you release others from the chains of sorrow. When you pray, you are not simply speaking to me, you stir the heavens and shake the unseen world. When you love, you reflect the light of the divine into a shadowed world. And when you hope, even with fragile hope, you keep the flame of life from being extinguished. So you are not merely an individual, you are part of something larger, deeper, more wondrous. You are a bearer of meaning, not because you know exactly what you are doing, but because I know exactly who you are. Every day you breathe, walk, and trust is a day I continue writing your chapter in the eternal story, and no detail is ever wasted. My beloved, do not let go. Keep hoping even when no one understands. Keep loving even when love is not returned. Keep praying even when no one hears, because I hear, I see, and I will not let a single thing you do for my name be in vain. In every small act, every quiet sacrifice, every whisper in the dark of night, you are shaking heaven itself. So grasp hope as a warrior grips his sword. Stand firm, not because you are strong, but because you know who stands with you. And remember this, though all else may change, my love for you remains the one unshakable thing. Beloved child, in this world, power is often given to men like fire. It can light the way with hope or consume everything, if not held with humility and truth. That is why I call those in positions of leadership to remember the true source of the authority they carry. It does not come from talent, cunning, or rank. It is a trust given by me. Every decision, every decree, every action they make is a seed sown into the soil of community, and it will bear fruit, good or ill, depending on the heart of the one who sows. I do not give power for it to be used as a throne to serve selfishness. I do not raise leaders so they may rule over others, but so they may stoop low to lift, protect, and care. In my eyes, the call of a leader is not to dominate, but to shepherd, like a faithful guardian tending their flock. And when they forget this, when personal gain outweighs justice, when truth is suffocated under the guise of authority, it is then they walk against the holy purpose I designed. Child, I know the decisions of the powerful can shape your life deeply. They may hurt you, crush you, or place you in circumstances you did not choose. But do not let your heart be held captive by bitterness, for those deeds, though real and painful, do not define your worth. No decree, no regime, no person has the right to decide who you are. Only I do, the one who called you by name from eternity, who knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. I am the one who holds authority above kings, lawmakers, governments, and empires. History is not written by men, it is written by my hand. I can alter the course of nations with a single nod. I have brought down arrogant thrones and lifted up humble hearts no one expected. For I see what human eyes cannot. I see the heart, the intent, the hidden motives behind every word and deed. And above all, I am still at work. When the world is in chaos, when governments are unjust, when the voice of the righteous is drowned out by roars of power, do not think I am asleep. No, my child. I have never left my throne, and I am not surprised by what is unfolding. My silence is not my absence. It is the moment of watching, of mercy waiting, and the preparation for my powerful intervention when the time is right. I want your heart to remain tender even when injustice provokes you. Stand for truth, but do not let hatred turn you into the likeness of those who oppress. Pray for those in power, for they too are human, fragile, and easily led astray. When you pray, instead of curse, you invite me in to do what no one else can, change hearts. You may not change the system, but your sincere prayers can shift the course of history because I listen and I respond. Remember, no force is stronger than my will. No wall is higher than my arm can reach, and no cruelty can bury the light if your heart stays connected to me. You are called to live as a citizen of the kingdom of heaven even while you walk the earth. And that means you carry the spirit of a kingdom that cannot be shaken. A kingdom where righteousness, peace, and joy reign eternally. Live as one who belongs to the light. Live as one who knows the throne of heaven has never trembled. And live with the faith that no matter who sits upon the thrones of this world, I, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings, am the one who renders the final judgment. and my judgment always carries justice, mercy, and unfailing love. Beloved child, there are moments when you look upon this world and your heart feels crushed by injustice, chaos, and brokenness. You see those in places of influence making decisions steeped in selfishness, cruelty, or folly, and the innocent bear the cost. You wonder, why would God allow this? I hear that silent ache within you. I see the tears that fall as you witness. My people, the humble and the voiceless, suffer, and I am neither indifferent nor silent. I am there. I have always been there. My child, I gave humanity a magnificent gift, the gift of free will, a sacred gift, yet one fraught with consequence. Because love cannot be forced, I did not create mankind as wooden puppets. I made them to love, to choose, to live with meaning. Yet that same freedom bears the possibility of error, even the power to destroy one another if choices go astray. When a ruler uses that freedom to oppress, instead of serve to feed greed, instead of walk in righteousness, the whole community bears the wound. I do not rejoice when people suffer under the callousness of those meant to care. But I do not revoke their freedom, because to do so would be to deny love itself. True love always makes space for choice, and choice always carries consequences. But child, remember this, I do not allow evil to hold the final word. Though dark days may linger, though the veil of corrupt power may hang long, I am always working beneath it all. No authority, no foolish choice, no abuse of power can escape my providence. You may not understand why I allow a nation to fall into disarray, a city to be torn by war, or a people to be crushed by tyranny. But you do not see all I am doing behind closed doors. I can use even the gravest of mistakes to clear the way for renewal. I can turn what seemed like an end into the beginning of something new. I am the one who transforms ruin into foundation, who turns collapse into the song of life. There is no darkness. My light cannot pierce. Those who hold power will not sit on their thrones forever. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess my righteousness. They will face the day of my judgment, not by the sword of men, but by truth that cannot be denied. No word, no decision, no act of oppression will go unnoticed. My justice is unlike human justice. It is slow, but it never forgets, merciful, yet never blind. So when your heart trembles under the weight of others' failures, when you are cast into valleys by unjust leadership, remember that I, your God, walk with you every step. I do not promise to keep you out of the valley, but I promise to take your hand through it. The darkness will not consume you, for I am your light in the long night. You may not see me, but I have not left. You may not hear me, but I am whispering. Keep walking, child. I am here. Place your trust in me, not in human systems, not in the empty promises of the powerful. Trust the one who never changes, who remains firm when earthly thrones shake, who holds you in his own hand. I know exactly where you are in the current of history, and I am using every piece, even the broken ones, to weave a radiant design for what I have promised: restoration, justice, and a future filled with hope. You cannot fix the whole world, but you can choose to love, to pray, to stand firm in my truth. And when you do, you are participating in the eternal work I am accomplishing. You are light in the darkness, life in the valley of death, hope in the midst of storms. And I, your God, will not let righteousness be dimmed, nor truth be buried. Steady your heart, my child. Continue to live with kindness, even when evil seems to triumph. Continue to pray, even when the answer delays. Continue to walk in truth, even when your voice is alone. For no one who puts their trust in me will ever be put to shame. And one day you will look back and see that in the depth of ruin I planted the seed of resurrection. Beloved child, I want you to see life not merely through the narrow lens of your own experience, but to lift your eyes and behold a greater picture, a tapestry where every soul is bound together by a sacred thread I, myself, have woven. Human connection is not only a source of sorrow or weariness, it is also the birthplace of life, where light spreads and where miracles begin. When one person collapses, the whole community trembles. But when one rises, the community is stirred to resurrection. Love is never a solitary act. Every beat of a compassionate heart is a ripple reaching deep into the soul of another, whether or not you ever realize it. I did not create humanity for anyone to walk alone, but so that you may lean on one another, lift each other up, and together reflect my image. When one part of the body aches, the whole cannot ignore the pain. But when one part is healed, the whole body rejoices with an unstoppable joy. This is how I long for you to live, not indifferent to the pain of others, not numb to the brokenness around you, because you are not an outsider. You are within the flow, a part of the living body I have molded with my own breath, and so I do not merely call you to pray for yourself. I invite you to bear the burdens of those in leadership, whether or not you agree with them. I call you into the still places to lift intercession for those who must make decisions that shape the lives of millions. Ask me to grant them light, compassion, and wisdom, not because they deserve it, but because they need guidance to avoid leading their people astray. When you intercede for them, you're not only helping them, you are shaping the future of an entire nation. Never think your prayer is too small, too weak, or too ordinary. You do not pray in your own strength, but in my name. That is why every time your mouth opens in sincerity, heaven listens. You are not whispering wishes into a void. You are speaking to the one who created the universe, and I am listening to your every word, even in silence. When you pray, you are not just speaking, you are opening the doorway for my will to enter this world. Prayer can melt hardened hearts. It can change a leader, ignite a movement, heal a family, shake a nation. It can do what no political strategy or advanced weapon ever could. Because prayer, when born of a humble heart, is the echo of heaven on earth. And you, though you may feel small, are the vessel through which divine power flows. But prayer is not only a quiet act done behind closed doors, it must also be reflected in how you live. I do not want you to merely utter pleas and then go on living as if I never heard them. I want you to become a walking prayer, one that reaches out, touches others, lifts the fallen, and revives hope in souls whose light has flickered out. Every action you take, even in silence, if done in love, becomes a flickering flame in the night the world is walking through. I call you to be a light, not a noisy, glaring light, but a steady, faithful one that does not go out in the darkness, a timely word of comfort, a righteous act in an unjust place, a moment of standing for truth even when it costs you. That is when you reflect my image to the world. I do not need you to hold power or status. I need you to be faithful in each day, each decision, each breath. Do you know this? You may think your deeds are too small to bring change, but the smallest things, when placed in my hands, can become miracles. A cup of water given in mercy, a prayer for someone you struggle to love, an act of forgiveness when you have every right to be angry. Each of these is recorded in eternity, and from them waves of healing begin to spread. You are a link, a part of a sacred network woven together by love and sacrifice, and your link matters. No one else can replace the role I have designed for you. What you do today may rescue a life tomorrow. You may never know, but I do. And I miss nothing that is done in my name, not even the smallest act. So my child, pray as if the world depends on it, because part of it truly does. Live as if every step you take is a song of praise, for in truth it is. And love as if you are bearing my love to this world, because indeed that is your calling. My precious one, there will be times when the world makes you feel that loving is weakness, the choice of the naive, or worse, something useless in a cold, calculating age. But I want you to know, in my kingdom, nothing is stronger than love. A single act born of true love can change the destiny of a soul. Sometimes just a well-timed embrace, a word of forgiveness from a softened heart, or even silent presence beside someone in pain, is enough to reopen a door of hope they thought forever closed. You do not need to stand before crowds or wield power to make a profound impact. A genuine heart, a soul that listens, and hands that do not hesitate to give, these are the things that light up the darkest places. I used the simple act of love from a Samaritan woman to write a new chapter for an entire city. I turned the tears of a widow into a testimony of faith. And I used the humility of a shepherd to overthrow a tyrant, for in every age I measure strength not by stature or status, but by a heart that knows how to love. You may think you are insignificant, that your life is too quiet to make a difference. But that very quietness makes you dangerous to the darkness, for the humble and sincere are what evil fears most. When you choose love over bitterness, when you persist in building rather than tearing down, when you uphold truth even in silence, you are walking the path of saints, those small ones who have shaken both heaven and earth. And remember, I am not only the God of power, I am the God of redemption. I am the one who turns what is broken into something beautiful. I do not shrink back from ruin. I am not afraid of the mess. I do not flee from cracked stories. On the contrary, it is in the shattered places that I create my finest work. Like Joseph, betrayed, abandoned, forgotten, yet I turned prison years into a path that saved thousands. Like Esther, a Jewish girl in a foreign court who became the voice that changed a nation's fate. And like my own beloved son, despised, crucified, killed, through whom life was given to the world. So, my child, if I can use Joseph's betrayal, the danger of Persia's court, and the shame of the cross to bring glory, what in your life do you think I cannot redeem? No wound is too deep, no mistake is too late, no failure is too final. I am not the one who comes to condemn, I come to redeem, to heal, to turn ashes into seeds of hope. Even if the choices of others have led you into dark places, even if you're caught in the consequences of things you didn't cause, don't let that bring you to despair. I, the one writing your story, am the light that never goes out. Darkness may block your sight, but it cannot dim my light. And if you keep your heart turned toward me, that light will find you, will shine upon you, and will guide your next step, even if it's trembling, even if it's only one step at a time in faith. Beloved child, take hold of hope, not the hope of men fragile, fleeting, and easily broken, but the hope that comes from my very heart, steadfast as a rock, eternal as the cosmos. This hope does not depend on your sufficiency, but on the truth that I am never lacking. It does not require you to be strong, but asks only for your faithfulness. It is the rope that pulls you out of the pit when everything else lets go. It is the staff that lifts you when your faith grows weary. It is the reminder that though the world may be in chaos, my heart remains unshaken. Hope is a grace I give to those who dare to believe even without seeing. It is heaven's guarantee that what I have promised I will fulfill. That winter will not last forever. That death does not get the final word. That every trial will eventually pass. And most of all, that I am holding your hand. I have never let go, and I never will. When you hold on to hope, you declare to the world that you belong to another kingdom. A kingdom where love triumphs over hate, life conquers death, and light always overcomes darkness. You live as one who knows they are not bound by the present moment, but are being upheld by eternity. And this is how you testify of me, not only through your words, but by the way you continue to live, to love, and to hope, even when nothing seems certain. So, my child, if today your heart is weary, if your hands hang limp and your eyes blur with tears, lift up your head, look to me, for I am here. I have never taken my eyes off you. I am the rest for your soul. I am the joy in your sorrow. I am the new beginning in the ashes of the old. And I am the one who can take all things good or bad, right or wrong, perfect or broken, and weave them into something beautiful in your life. Hold on to hope, my beloved. Not because you are strong enough, but because I am powerful enough. Not because you know the way, but because I am the way. And not because you can already see the light, but because the light is coming from me, the one who loves you with an everlasting love. Beloved child, in the approaching days of darkness, when truth is twisted and hearts grow cold from fear and division, I want you to cling tightly to the precious gift I placed in your soul, hope. Not empty hope placed in people, nor shallow hope for external change, but the hope nourished by me, the eternal one, the unchanging one. This is a living hope, unfading, glowing in your heart like a candle in the storm. Hope is not the denial of painful reality, but the trust that even in the deepest suffering I am still at work. Look to the dawn when the sky is at its darkest, for that is the promise that light is near. In the same way, when your heart grows tired from waiting, from not understanding, from not knowing how to go on, I am there, and it is hope that will keep your heart from breaking. It will remind you the sun hasn't disappeared, it's merely hidden for a time. The storm will pass. And in the storm, I will not let you drift away. The days ahead may be hard. You may witness decisions from those in power that affect your family, your loved ones, the future you've labored to build. But child, don't let fear cloud the vision of faith. Those in authority are only human, they do not hold your destiny. I am the one who writes your story from beginning to end. No matter who reigns, what policies are made, or which way the world turns, I remain with you. In the chaos, I am the refuge for your soul. When everything around you trembles, run to me, for I am the fortress that cannot be shaken. You don't need to muster strength to appear unshaken. Just return to me, and I will be your strength when you are weakest. When your mind is confused by the noise of the world, I will be the gentle voice guiding your every step. When you feel misunderstood, I will walk quietly beside you, knowing every unspoken thought within you. And even when you forget me, I never forget you. Do not let your circumstances make you doubt the identity I've placed within you. You are not just an individual trying to survive. You are mine. I have sealed my love upon your forehead, engraved your name upon my palm, and breathed my life into your spirit. You do not walk alone. You are part of my people, a body made of many members, each with a purpose, a story, a journey. And the wonder is this: you are never left behind. I want you to see the deep beauty and the unity I have woven, not as a binding chain, but as a sacred connection stitched together by mercy and truth. Every time you love someone, carry a burden, reach out to a soul who's falling, you are part of something greater than yourself. You are letting my light shine through you into other hearts. And that is what brings glory to my name in a world that's forgetting heaven's gentleness. I know you're not perfect, but I'm not searching for perfection, I seek faithfulness. When you choose truth, when you stand for what is right, when you forgive instead of holding on to hate, when you pray for those who've hurt you, you are living as part of an unshakable kingdom. You become an echo of hope, a breeze of healing, a small light that is enough to dispel the darkness around someone else. Child, there may be times when you grow tired of doing good, of being kind of swimming upstream against apathy. But I plead with you, don't give up. Don't let the world steal the compassion within you. You, together with others I have placed near you, are the wall that holds back the dark. You are not alone, and your struggle is not in vain. Look around you, there are those who cry in silence, who need a loving word, a gentle deed. Don't think you are too little to help. You have me. And when you have me, you have enough. You may not change the whole world, but you can change one heart, and from there I can change a generation. You are the hope I've sent into this world. I know every tear you shed, every whisper in your prayer. Nothing in your love is wasted, and from those small acts I will write radiant pages in eternity. I have used you, I am using you, and I will use you if you allow me to move through you. Walk forward in the confidence that you are not lost. Even if you can't yet see the road, I am walking ahead of you. Even if you feel small, I am growing strong within you. And even if the world screams in violence, I am whispering in love. Listen to me, child. My voice is not loud, but it is enough to guide you through every peril. My precious one, do not let fear drown your heart, even if the days ahead seem grim. Even in the moments when you feel too small amidst the whirlwind of this world, like a drop swept away by currents beyond your control, I am still there, beside you, within you, surrounding you. I never abandon you nor grow weary in guarding your life detail by detail. I am almighty, but I am also your tender Father. I hold the power to move mountains, to still the winds, to halt the stars, yet I am also the gentle hand that wipes your tears in the quiet hours of the night. You don't need to strive to be worthy of my love. That love was already given before you even knew my name, and it will remain when you no longer have the strength to speak it. When you feel like collapsing, when your feet can no longer hold you, close your eyes and lean into me, for it is then that I will strengthen you. I don't merely help you endure, I help you overcome. Not by removing every hardship, but by filling you with supernatural power, peace that surpasses all understanding, courage that does not come from you, but from my endless source of life. You will see the consequences of human choices, that is reality. You will witness proud leaders fall and the vulnerable hurt by reckless decisions. But amidst all chaos, child, I still reign. I am still the one who lifts up and brings low. Thrones, powers, and empires, they are all under my command. No one rules beyond my purpose, and no one is too hidden for my care. I direct the hearts of men like streams of water. I can turn the course of a dynasty, soften the heart of a ruler, and revive a prayer thought long forgotten. And in all that seems random, I am weaving things together, each detail, each person, each moment for your good, not only through pleasant things but through pain, not just on smooth roads but also on thorny paths. For what I seek is not your comfort but your spiritual maturity, a soul that loves, forgives, and trusts in all circumstances. So when your heart is overwhelmed, run to me like a child rushing into their father's arms. I will never turn you away, never sigh at your weakness. Instead, I rejoice when you return, when you say, Lord, I can't, but I know you can. That is when my power is shown most clearly, not in the strong, but in the hearts that bow low. I am your refuge. Not a distant, vague idea, but a living, present reality. I am your strength not just to survive, but to live with purpose. I am the one who stands with you in trials, not merely watching, but fighting for you. I am your stronghold, your sheltering wing, your safe place when the storms come. And never forget this, I hold the universe in my hands, but I hold you in my heart. I see you fully, clearly, and lovingly. Nothing about you is too small for my care. No dream of yours is too great for me to fulfill if it is born of trust in me. You are mine, and I am yours. My beloved child, my beloved child. That love of mine never grows weary nor runs dry, even if you turn your back or stumble in your private weaknesses. It remains there, enveloping you like the air you breathe, like the blood flowing through your heart, inseparable and unceasing. I love you not because you deserve it, but because I am love. From before you were aware of yourself, before you could even shape your name with a voice, that love has been around you, cradling you, sheltering you in every moment. When you smile, I am present in that joy. When you weep, I am the place where you may rest your head and find comfort. When you fail, I do not reproach, but seek only to lift you. When you succeed, I love you just as when you had nothing in your hands. My love for you is not increased by your achievements, nor diminished by your losses. It is a constant stream, an eternal reality that no circumstance can alter. Imagine a place in the world where you are always welcomed, no matter how many wounds or weaknesses you carry. That is the dwelling of my love. It builds no walls, makes no distinctions, demands no prerequisites. You do not have to prove your worth to be loved, nor must you pretend to be a model of perfection. In my eyes, you have been precious from the moment you were so small as a speck of dust in the universe. This love is engraved into your very nature, making you unique and irreplaceable. Through all the ups and downs of your life, that love remains your anchor. When your heart reels amid the storms and the world seems to turn away, remember, I have never left. I am there, quietly, steadfastly, waiting for you to open your heart to receive consolation. You may travel 100 roads, seek meaning in countless places, yet in the end you will discover that nothing fills your heart like the love I planted in you from the beginning. Often you may feel unworthy of such love, thinking you have erred too much or done too many things contrary to goodness. Yet it is precisely in your weakest moments that my love is most fully revealed, because it does not depend on your perfection but springs from my immutable nature. Just as the sun shines whether or not anyone believes in its light, my love pours out without ceasing whether you accept it or reject it. When you realize this, you will no longer be bound by fear or anxious over acceptance. You will know there is a love always surrounding you, holding you safely like a vast embrace that never lets go. This love is present not only in sweetness but amid trials. When you walk through suffering, I am not distant and aloof. I walk with you, share your burden, and bear it alongside you. I hear every sob, know every quiet pain within your heart, and I turn those things into opportunities for your growth, strength, and depth. I do not let your pain be meaningless, for my love can turn even the darkest places into glimmers of hope. Thus, every tear you shed is precious to me, kept like a pearl, because they attest to the journey you are walking in, my love. If you could see with my eyes, you would perceive that your worth is not defined by failure or success. You are precious not because of some grand achievement, but because you are you, and your very existence is enough to make me rejoice. Never believe my love has limits. It is vaster than the seas, higher than the sky, and longer than time itself. It flows without end and never runs out. You can run from this light, but you cannot make it stop shining. You can close your heart, but you cannot make me stop loving you. You can refuse, yet that love will wait, tireless, unfading. I love you enough to cross every barrier and span every abyss, to bring you back, to remind you that you have never been abandoned. This love is not theory or mere words. It is life-breath, living reality. It transforms you, heals you, and opens paths you never saw before. That love is also a mirror teaching you to love yourself and to love others. As you experience my patience and mercy, you will learn to widen your own heart, to forgive your shortcomings, and to treat those around you with compassion. My love is not closed in upon itself. It reaches outward so that from your heart it may flow into other hearts. Thus, the circle of affection multiplies, making the world less cold and more warm. Do not think you must perfect yourself to be loved. Rather, in your imperfection, my love becomes shelter. Like rain soaking parched earth, my love seeks out the broken, the needy places to fill and to revive. The more fragile you are, the more powerful that love becomes. It turns what seemed hopeless into hope, alienation into belonging, loneliness into companionship. If ever you feel lost, remember that this love is your lighthouse. It continues to shine patiently, waiting for your return, guiding you safely to shore. No distance can separate you from my love, neither death nor life, neither present nor future. Nothing is strong enough to sever that sacred bond. And the most wondrous truth is this, that love never runs out. The more it is given away, the more abundant it becomes. The more you receive it, the more complete it grows within you. You will discover that you are not only someone who is loved, but someone who is able to love for. My love fills you and spills out from you to others. In that loving, you will find the true meaning of your life, that you were made to love and to be loved. My beloved child, I love you when you shine, when your smile spreads like the dawn and scatters the shadows, and I love you just as deeply in the moments you fall, weep, and feel helpless and broken, for my love does not waver like wind-tossed waves, nor depend on the fleeting emotions of humankind. It stands firm like an ancient cliff, or like roots driven deep into the earth, unmoved by any storm. Even if you willfully turn away, reject me, sink into doubt, or speak words of blame or anger toward me, I am still there, never distant, always near, no farther than a breath, a heartbeat, or the turning of your head. That love is my eternal choosing, and I have never regretted, nor will I ever regret, choosing you. You may feel your life is a long journey full of stumbles. Moments when you thought yourself steady are undone by a gentle breeze, and trusts you thought secure can vanish like mist. In those times you may feel alone, without a place to lean, but remember, I have never abandoned you. I am not only with you in triumph and radiance, I am closest in your darkest, weakest hours, because it is then you need love most of all. My love is not the kind that changes with seasons or moods. It is not like water that swells and ebbs, nor like a flame that flares and dies away. It is an inexhaustible source, continuously flowing and never spent. Even if you close your eyes or pretend not to notice that love endures, patiently waiting, it asks no repayment and demands no reciprocal measure. It is simply a complete offering, an irrevocable commitment. You belong to me, and I will always love you. There have been times when you feared you had disappointed me, convinced that your mistakes and shortcomings would drive me away, but you are mistaken. My love is not built on perfection and is not threatened by your faults. Rather, in your weakness, my desire to show love grows stronger, to mend, to heal, and to lift you up. The more you feel incomplete, the more opportunity my love has to shine through. Picture this love as an invisible cloak that always covers you. When you are joyful, it is a gentle comfort. When you are sorrowful, it is a tightening embrace. When you fall, it becomes the hands that lift, and when you are lost, it is the light that guides. This love is not external to you so that one day it might be taken away. It has become part of your very flesh like breath and heartbeat, and no one can strip it from you. I love you even when you are angry, rebellious, or opposed to me. You may shout or slam the door of your heart, yet I do not retreat. This love is not easily defeated. It is patient, persistent, and ever ready to wait for you to soften and open your heart once more. No outburst of rage is strong enough to make me cease loving you, and no distance is great enough to separate you from my embrace. When you succeed, I rejoice with you. When you fail, my love for you is no less. At your heights, I share your delight. When you fall into the depths, I draw near to grasp your hand. My presence does not change with circumstance. It is faithful and steady like the beat of the heart holding you. You must understand that even if the whole world trembles, this love remains the only sure footing you have. You have seen the sun rise each morning, even after a sky of clouds or storms. You have witnessed spring's return after winter's cold. These small assurances point to the certainty of, my love, though yesterday was dark, I am present today to shine. Though you have endured long nights, the dawn of love arrives, prompt, unfailing. I have chosen to love you, and that choice never alters. It does not rest on passing feelings nor waver because of any upheaval. It is a permanent decision written into my nature, and when I have chosen, there is no regret. You are my joy, the reason my love is alive. I do not love you out of obligation, but because my heart is abundant with love for you. So never think you must run to keep this love. You do not need to prove yourself or strain to be worthy. I loved you before you knew how to love yourself, and I will love you even when you lose your way or forget your worth. My love is not a conditional contract, but an everlasting covenant that never ends. My beloved child, you are the child. I cherish a precious treasure among all living things. In this vast world there is no one like you, and no one who can take your place in my heart. I know every line of your being, hear the quiet voice that wells up from the depths of your soul, and see the things you hide, those secrets you have never dared to reveal to another. I do not only hear the clear laugh that bursts from you in joy, but I also catch the silent sobs you bury in the night. Every smile you give quickens my heart like 1,000 songs, and every tear you shed I treasure like a precious pearl. For they spring from a true heart, learning to love, learning to trust, learning to live in a world full of fractures and wounds. You may think your tears are a sign of weakness, but to me they are evidence of a heart that still feels, still longs for truth and love. No drop of your tears falls meaninglessly. I see them, I receive them, and I keep them, regarding them as bright beads that one day will stand as testimony to a journey of growth, to a soul that would not cease striving through the storms. You are the gem I have found and will never let go. In the vast universe where billions of lives coexist, you do not blur into insignificance. Rather, in my sight, you shine like a single star amid the heavens. Even when you regard yourself as small or think you matter little, I perceive in you a value beyond measure. I knew your name before you had form, I heard your voice even before you spoke, and I loved you before you had any sense of my presence. Never believe you have been forgotten in the rush of life. Not one of your footsteps escapes my sight. When you stand on the heights, I rejoice with you. When you sink into shadow, I stoop down to find you. I know every breath you take, every beat of your heart, and there is no moment when I cease thinking of you, loving you, or sheltering you. This love does not distinguish between day and night, is not governed by circumstance or time. It is the strong cord binding me to you, unbreakable and inviolable. Each time you laugh, my heart dances. I behold your joy as a brilliant dawn that lights a whole sky. Yet when you weep, I do not turn away. On the contrary, I bend low and gently catch each tear as one would gather rare rain. To the world, a tear may signal failure or sorrow, but to me it is a silent prayer, a deep music your soul sends upward, and I who love you will never let that prayer fall into an empty void. Know that every wound within you is seen by me. I am not indifferent nor cold. I touch those cracks with a tender love like a physician's hand laid on a wound to bring healing. I do not merely dry your tears, but turn them into seeds of new hope. I do not only hear the restless stirrings of your heart, but also grant you strength to rise and walk on. Those tears you think wasted become witnesses to resilience, proof of a heart that loves sacrifices and matures. You are not an ordinary creature. You are a masterpiece shaped by my loving hands. In you is my image, my breath, the imprint of the eternal. Every crease of your palm, every tone of your voice is engraved in my eternal memory. Nothing about you is accidental, nothing of you superfluous. You are the beautiful harmony I fashioned, and I rejoice in calling you my child. You often believe that to be loved you must be perfect, strong, or hide your frailties, but I love you wholly, both your bright places and your dark corners. I love your strength and I love your trembling. I honor your courage and I cradle your fears. True love is not reserved only for the radiant sunlit hours, but also reaches the parched fields that need rain. I do not cast away your weakness. I fill it with love, transforming fragility into strength and shattered pieces into a new beauty. The world may judge you by success or failure, by outward appearance or ability, but I look with eyes of love, eyes not dimmed by human standards. In my sight, you are not a string of mistakes nor a tally of achievements. You are a living soul, a child called by name, a treasure I will never lose. When you feel alone, remember that I am there. When you think no one understands you, I understand you more than you understand yourself. When you fear your tears vanish into nothing, I keep them like jewels. I count each drop, I hear every sob, and I love you in those moments. To me, your tears are not an end, but a beginning of healing, proof of a heart living honestly before itself. Trust that nothing in you is forgotten. The tears you think invisible, I treat like pearls. The laments you deem futile, I turn into song. The pains you bury, I make into a doorway that opens to a new way. My love is never wasted, and nothing in you is meaningless when placed into my hands. You are the child I cherish, and that cherishing does not change as the years turn. I love you when you smile, and I love you still more when you cry. I love you when you are brave, and I do not love you less when you tremble. My love is not measured by circumstance nor altered by time. It flows like a river, unceasing, burns like a fire that never goes out, and spans like a sky that never lacks light. Rest assured, with every step you take, I am there. With every word you speak, I have listened. With every tear you shed, I have kept it. You are never forgotten, never cast aside. To me, you are a precious gem among countless stones, a treasure in the sea, a child no one can replace. You are not an unfinished project, not a discarded shard, nor a flawed draft to be crossed out. You are a work I am carefully sculpting day by day, like a patient artisan seated before a raw gem, unpushed by haste, deliberate with each chisel stroke and engraved line, so that the beauty already hidden within may be revealed. I never regard you as failure, for in my eyes your worth has never been lost. You are the endeavor in which I have poured my heart, a work not measured by achievements, but nurtured by patience, by kindness, and by my very nature of love. You do not need to strain to prove your value. You do not need to accomplish something great or climb the heights the world calls glorious. Your true worth is not found in what you do, but in who you are. My child, and that is the sole and eternal reason my love overflows on your life. I love you not because you are lovable, but because I am love, and that love knows no reservation, never pauses halfway, and never loves in halves. It is a full surrender, an embrace of your whole self, both your strength and your shattered places, your radiance and your falls. Remember that a masterpiece does not appear overnight. It requires time, patient carving, corrections, and renewals. You are a painting I am still laying brushstrokes upon, and each stroke matters, each hue contributes to the whole. You may sometimes look at yourself and see chaos, lack incompleteness. Yet I do not. I perceive a form whole and a beauty coming into being that your eye has not yet learned to recognize. You are the work I am completing, and I have never abandoned this undertaking. I know there are times you ask, am I truly worthy of this love? But child, my love does not require you to be worthy, for If love needed conditions, it would not be true love. My love is not built on merit or on outward propriety. It flows because I am love, and love by its nature gives without limit. You may break, err, or wander, and yet I love you with a love unblemished by your faults. You need not seek to impress me, for I was impressed with you before you took shape in the womb. You need not scramble to hold on to this love, for it never leaves you. Nor need you fear that one day I will change, for my love for you is not the product of passing feeling. It does not sway with mood or season. It is a firm foundation, a river flowing from the eternal. I do not love you partly or halfway. I love you fully, even when you have not yet learned to love yourself. I love you in broken dreams, in abandoned plans, in the secret fears you share with no one. My love is an ever-open embrace, a refuge when you are weary. You may stumble 1,000 times, and this love will lift you 1,000 times. You may lose your way, and this love will remain the guiding lamp. You may deem yourself useless, but this love will remind you that you are a masterpiece in the process of being perfected. If you could see with my eyes, you would behold your radiance even within the cracks. Like pottery mended with gold, what was once shattered becomes a point of beauty that cannot be replicated. I do not erase your wounds, but I make them witnesses to love. I do not deny your weaknesses, but I use them to reveal the strength of patience and mercy. You are proof of a love that never gives up, a work being completed moment by moment, hour by hour. You may feel small in the vastness of the cosmos, but in my heart, you are the center of joy. You may imagine yourself a drop in an ocean, yet I see that drop reflecting the whole sky. You are not a speck blown meaninglessly by the wind. You are the gem I am polishing to shine. When you grasp this, you will no longer race anyone to prove your worth. You simply need to be yourself, and I will take care of the rest. My love is not merely a promise, but a living truth present in every moment and in every breath you take. It patiently waits for your growth, is patient with your fumbling, steadfast even when you deny it. I never grow weary of loving you, for this love is not a burden, but my essence. I love you with all that I am, and I do not love superficially. To love is to give wholly, to keep holy, and to journey alongside you to the end. So rest your heart in this truth. You are not an abandoned, unfinished project, but a work taking shape beneath the hands of eternal love. You are not a failure, but a story being continued, each chapter steeped in tender care. You are not a draft to be discarded, but a painting coming into completion, every line purposeful. And I, who am love, will never let go of the brush nor cease the carving until the full beauty of you is revealed. Walk on in peace, even though your steps tremble and the road before you seems long, strewn with stones and shadow. Do not be afraid, for you are never compelled to walk alone. Lift up your head and live boldly, even when doubt crowds your heart and the questions that swirl in your mind make you reel, for beside you is not a distant stranger, but I, the one who fashioned the vast universe, who hung the stars in the heavens and laid foundations for rivers and mountains, yet who calls you by name and chooses to be near you, not as a remote sovereign, but as a gentle father present with each breath you take. Understand that my presence is more than companionship. It is refuge and bearing. I am not merely a silent observer walking alongside you. I carry burdens you cannot bear. I enfold your weary heart in my arms, and I guard you with a peace the world cannot give. When you imagine yourself trudging alone across a dry desert, know that the footprints in the sand are mine as I hold you. When you feel you have no strength left to stand, it is I who sustain you, so you do not collapse. You belong to me. This did not begin when you first cried out, nor when you first recognized my presence. You belonged to me before your first cry, before this world was formed. In the uncreated depths I thought of you. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hand, not in ink that fades, but in love that never runs dry. On my heart your name is written, and with every beat I am reminded of your existence. You are not an accident, nor a random result, but a beloved intention, my eternal design. No power can sever the bond between you and me. No darkness can extinguish the light of this love. No calamity can force my hand to let go. No past can obscure the present. No present can be so heavy as to block the future. and no future can be so dim as to erase the love I bear for you. In heaven above or earth below, in ocean depths or shadowed abyss, there is nothing, no one, no force that can pull you from this love. For it is not a fragile thread, but an everlasting link forged deep within my own being. When the world looks unstable and fraught with peril, remember that my love is your shield and my care a steadfast wall. You may tremble before change, yet I remain unchanging. You may be betrayed by people, but I do not betray. Promises made by others may fail, but my promise never does. When you lose direction amid many crossroads, I am the way, the compass, and the light that guides you so you do not stray. I have chosen you, and that choice is not passing but eternal. I called your name among countless souls, looked upon you and smiled and placed my love within you, as one sets a precious jewel in the palm. You are mine. No one can seize you, and no power can alter that. This love not only holds you now, but secures your tomorrow. Your future is not left to uncertainty, because it rests in my hands. If you walk the furthest edge of pain or pass through the valley of shadow, my love will be there covering you and drawing you back into the Father's embrace. Be at rest if I sustain the universe, cause the sun to rise each day, and keep the moon and stars in their courses. How could I not keep your life? If I have named the stars, do you suppose I do not know every detail of you? If I govern the vastness of creation, can I not guard your soul? Your value does not depend on the world's estimation, but on my gaze and in my sight you remain forever, my beloved child, engraved by an unchanging love. You may be weak, but I am strong. You may be afraid, but I am peace. You may find yourself limited, but I am infinite. You may change from day to day, but I am constant. Because you belong to me, nothing can steal away this safety. My love is the surety amid uncertainty, the anchor in a world that rocks the abiding home through every storm. So go on even if your feet tremble. Live even when doubt lingers, for I, your Father, have been with you, am with you now, and will always be with you. I am never farther than a single breath, never slower than a heartbeat, never missing a moment. From the beginning to the end, you belong to me, and nothing can change that. And child, know that I belong to you as well. Not as a conditional gift placed on a scale, nor as a fragile agreement easily altered, but as an eternal covenant, engraved not with fading ink but with flesh, and with my abiding presence. This covenant cannot be broken by time, shattered by trial, or buried by the world's forgetfulness, for it is a promise set deep into the fabric of the universe, ordained from before ages began. I am yours, and you are mine. When you call, I hear you. No plea of yours is overlooked, no sigh dismissed. Even before you find the words, I know the cry of your heart. When you stumble, I do not stand afar to criticize, but I stoop to lift. You brush the dust from your feet and whisper, you are not alone. When the world misreads you, twists your words, or judges your heart unfairly, I still perceive the truth within you. I understand what none other can understand, and that comprehension itself attests to the depth of my love for you. If you ever feel unseen or wonder, do I truly matter? Does anyone need me? Remember that I chose you from before time, not when you succeed, not when you shine, but before you had form, I had already engraved your name upon my heart. In my sight, your worth is irreplaceable. You are not a number among millions, but a single star I have named, not a random petal fallen to the ground, but a precious seed I have planted in the garden of my love. We will travel this road together. I do not promise it will be strewn with roses or forever smooth, for if the path were always easy, you would never learn your own strength, nor know the depths of your resilience. Yet I promise this, you will never cross it alone. When one door closes, I will open another. When darkness gathers, I will be the light that guides you. When you feel you have no strength left to take the next step, I will be the sustaining power that lifts you. I will face with you the days when the future seems shrouded in cloud, and I will stand with you in the storm so you are not swept away. I will laugh with you in morning sun and share joy like a close friend, and I will weep with you when night falls so you do not endure loneliness. When fear trembles within you, I will hold you, so you may know there is a safe place. an embrace that never lets go. I will be the home to which you return no matter how far you wander. Whether you venture to the ends of the earth or sink into the deepest despair, I will be there with outstretched arms waiting for your return. No distance is too vast, no wound too deep, no separation strong enough to sever you from me. For this love is tireless, boundless, and immeasurable. It is an endless ocean, a sky without horizon, a fire that never dies. So walk on, do not be afraid if you feel insufficiently strong. Do not hesitate because doubt lingers. Do not stop because you feel unworthy for. My love for you is not based on worthiness, but on my very nature, and that nature is changeless love. Each day you live, know that I am there. Each morning you awake, I give a new light. Each night as you sleep, I guard your dreams. Every smile of yours is my joy, and every tear you shed is a jewel I keep. You are never alone, never an abandoned thing drifting in the vast cosmos. You are my child, and I am your father. This is unchanging truth, an unbreakable covenant, a song that will never cease through the ages. Take heart. Do not let anything make you forget this truth. You are my beloved child, and I am the God who does not change. This truth is not only true for today, it is not shaken by tomorrow, and it is not erased by the shadows of your past. It was engraved from ages past, before the heavens were formed, before the sun rose and the moon and stars took their courses. The bond between you and me is not a fragile pact that time or circumstance can break, but an everlasting tie written in blood, sustained by grace and held in eternal life. You do not belong to the fears that surround you, nor are you defined by the mistakes you have made. You belong to me, and that binding cannot be severed by any power. You may be weak, but that does not make me stop loving you. You may doubt, but your doubt cannot shake my faithfulness. I am the one who is faithful from generation to generation, unchanging amid the shifting of seasons. When the world trembles, I stand firm. When human hearts falter, I remain steadfast. As time passes, my love remains whole. Remember that this love is not written with ink on paper that fades, but with blood, a mark that can never be erased. It is preserved not by your strength, but by my grace. It endures not only on days when you feel strong, but also in the days you are broken, for I still uphold you. This covenant is not a two-way agreement that can be voided. It is an eternal commitment I have established, and once I have promised, nothing can make me fail. Imagine human contracts where signatures one day become meaningless. But the covenant between you and me is not like that. It is inscribed by my blood and engraved deep within the soul, held fast by a grace beyond comparison. No power in heaven or on earth can wipe it out. No forgetfulness can cover it. No event can nullify it. It is an immutable promise, a truth that withstands every barrier of time. Be assured that wherever you go, you never step outside this love. If you walk into the dawn, my love is there. If you wander into the night, my love still covers you. If you travel to the ends of the sea, my hand guides you. If you climb to the highest mountain, I am present. Even if you wander through the maze of life's confusion, I remain the lamp that lights your way, so you know this bond has never been cut. I know you will have days of doubt, moments when you want to let go, times when you think it is all over. Yet it is precisely in those moments that you will find my love, stronger than any fear. It holds you when you have no strength to hold on. It lifts you when you have no power to stand, and it covers you when you have nothing left to protect yourself. That is why I call you my beloved, not because you are perfect, but because my love is what gives you true worth. Do not let the words of the world unsettle you. Do not allow failures to convince you that you are no longer deserving. Do not let past wounds make you forget that you are loved. Fix your eyes on this truth. The bond between you and me is eternal. It is not threatened by the storms of circumstance, nor dimmed by the dust of time. It remains clear, radiant, and unchangeable. Live in that certainty, for when you know you belong to me, you will discover true freedom. You will no longer be bound by the fear of rejection or live anxious to prove your worth. You will know you have a secure place in my heart that nothing can shake. From that foundation you can live courageously, love wholeheartedly, and walk through the fiercest storms without trepidation. And know this, the covenant is not for a fleeting moment but endures to all ages. When time closes and what you see now passes away, my love remains. When you move from this life into the life eternal, that bond continues. You will never be abandoned, never forgotten. You will rest in my love from now and forever. So be strong in spirit. Let your heart rest in this truth: you are my beloved child, and I am the faithful God who never changes. The tie between us will never be broken, for it was written in blood, preserved by grace, and lives in eternal life. Now, with all sincerity and faith, lift up your heart with me in prayer. O Almighty God, whom I call Father, I come to you in my weakness, not with perfect understanding, but with a small, reaching faith that longs to rise out of the shadows. Please remind me that this life is not a series of random events, but a journey written by your love and power. Though my circumstances are tangled and my heart unsure, plant in me an unshakable trust that you are at work, that you are loving, and that you are guiding. Refresh my soul and help me walk the days ahead in faith, not fear. O eternal Father, Lord of time and the keeper of my heart, I come to you like a lost child in the dark, longing for your light to shine and your arms to receive me. Do not let me fall beneath what my eyes see. Help me stand firm on what you have spoken. I lay before you every worry, every burden, and all that I cannot even name. In exchange, give me peace that surpasses all understanding. Teach me to wait in hope, to walk in patience, and to love even when my prayers seem unanswered. O Redeemer of my life, my refuge in the storm, I offer you everything I have, my fragments, my failures, and my unhealed desires. Use your mighty power to remake my soul like a potter forming new vessels from ashes. Give me new eyes to see your hand at work, even in darkness, and a tender heart that chooses love over retreat. I believe that nothing is ever too late, for you are the one who brings life from death. O faithful God, who never breaks a promise, though my life may change and my heart may waver, your word remains and never fails. I pray not only for myself, but for those in darkness, that we would never let go of hope. Please restore the broken-hearted, rebuild betrayed souls, and ignite faith in those who feel defeated. Pour out your holy water from heaven to refresh the dry fields of our souls. O sovereign Lord of history and destiny, I intercede for those suffering under unjust leaders. Use your power to bring about the unexpected, to change the course of a nation through silent prayers. Turn around what seems impossible and use what is imperfect to fulfill your perfect purpose. I believe that righteousness will have the final word, and I offer myself as an instrument for that plan if you so will. O God, who brings all things to completion, I thank you for what you've done and for what you are silently doing beyond what I see. I know that without you, I would not have made it this far. Thank you for unconditional love, for boundless mercy, and for your patience when I falter. Though I am unworthy, you remain, and that alone fills my heart with lifelong gratitude. Keeper of every moment and every breath, I thank you, even for what I did not want, the trials, the wounds, the weary days, for they are the ways you refine me. Without storms, I would not know you as shelter. Without the desert, I would not understand the worth of living water. Thank you for using what I cannot understand to teach me faith. Thank you for never leaving me alone. O God of my heart, I praise you not only for the blessings you've given, but because you are the greatest blessing. I don't give thanks because all my problems are gone, but because in every problem you are still the answer. I do not know what tomorrow holds, but I know you are already there, and that alone is enough to fill my heart with peace and praise. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so together we can build a strong community of faith.